Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thought that he had until 7 and disregarded the
Hello.
chat.
Hello. What time is it now?
7:52.
Okay, sorry. I was genuinely just asking.
I completely forgot what day it is and didn't see the message until you messaged in Steam.
I am here.
Well, at least you saw it.
Because I wasn't seeing Discord the moment you messaged in Steam. I saw it.
Okay, well, regardless, I feel like I'm pretty on my game right this second. So, I'm gonna... Yeah, we're going. We're live. We're starting right now.
Howdy.
Let's start with Alex. Why don't you recap last session for us?
Alrighty. So we started off kind of resolving Jorgen losing it, more or less. I'm trying to get to the bottom of, like, what exactly happened, where was he, was there someone that could have done it? Long story short, we boiled it down to it being the amulet's fault, the one that somehow disappeared from Tilia's room in the captain's quarters over to his room. And we chased some dead ends trying to figure out some dwarf racism, and we got really confused by Valor and Janor. But that whole way basically led nowhere. But regardless, after enough time, we made it to the merchant shipwreck, and I, Tilia, as captain, decided Jorgen is probably not going to snap again, so he can come on the shore crew with us and is allowed his weapons. Were they sulfur crabs that we got the jump on?
Basalt crabs.
Basalt.
Basalt, not sulfur. Big crabs is what I had. And their shells were certainly worth at least a little bit of scratch back ashore, so we took down a few of those. And I think of the rest of us, Jorgen, it was your friend that showed up, right?
Yes, it was. His name was
I'm a captain with
Mamuko.
talking stick.
Mamuto.
Oh, I have Mamuko in here. Mamuto.
It's just a thing with my games. Everybody misspells and mispronounces the name. Doesn't matter how many times I say it or type it out,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
you know damn well I'm great at this.
Yeah, so
I was
Makoto
one letter
showed up.
off.
Just saying.
No, Blake, I don't want to hear it. Okay.
Fine then. Never pronounce a name right again.
Oh, actually, I did take note. I couldn't remember if I. Oh, no, I spelled Mamuto, right? Who the hell put Mamuko in the top thing? In my notes, it says Mamuto. Okay, we good. My track record's still clean.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Alright. So, we're going to fast forward a little bit where you guys have left the ship that was beached and are back on your own, sailing the seas again, returning to port to restock on supplies so you can make the long journey to the contract you've taken out.
Are we going back to Godley?
That's the closest one. You could go to Lockswood. You're also kind of close to there.
Well, I'm no captain, but I feel like it would probably be best to go back to Godley.
Yeah, we're doing all right financially, but I want to keep it that way, so we're going back to Godley.
Okay.
Just to establish before we go any further, we did already sort out all the money stuff last session, right? I believe we did.
I thought we did, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
there was definitely a total that was tallied and thrown out. You can add that minus everybody's shares to the ship's gold reserves.
I already did. I was just making sure that I did.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, 479. So we're good. Okay. So as you were saying, we were returning to Doc.
Yes. Are you sure that your count on the gold is correct?
We gave. Let's see. We split some amongst ourselves. We gave everyone else, I believe, this like the same equal amount, and then put the rest into the stuff.
And
So
I
yes,
did transfer 400 from Tilia's personal account into the ship's.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So, like, unless you had 79 gold left to add to the ship stockpile after the 2,000 sum, you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, we. Okay, yeah, I got you. I will figure it out as we go.
yeah. Please figure it out.
Hey, math is hard. Leave more.
Anyone else about one broken music was mine?
But if you scroll up, I think I posted the math or in
You did.
the chat.
Let us see. Like I said, I can figure this out. You're good to go.
Well, I mean, based on last time, how it all worked out. 30% goes to the crew, 30% goes to you guys, the rest goes to the ship. 959 gold from your haul goes to the ship. 959.
That does sound right.
Plus the 400 some that was already there.
Yeah, so we must have split the bit amongst ourselves, and I just didn't add it to the supplies. So.
Yeah. 718 gets split between you six, and 718 gets split amongst the crew, which meets their minimums.
Yeah. Yeah, we did all that bit.
Think that'll. Yeah. If you click on that, it sends you straight to where we were posting it before.
Yeah, I added the money from the crab shells as well, which was 80. So you were 2,396. Split these three ways, with remainder going to the ship.
Okay.
Math this session. That's what we are, a math channel now.
Get ready to learn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. While we are sailing the
I also
seas.
had it in my notes in the session notes too. Interesting. I took those notes. I did.
Congratulations, you get a cookie.
Huzzah.
Okay. Now I'm where I need to be in my notes. All right. So on your sail back, I mean, I assume you guys don't leave Mamuto marooned. Like, you guys
We
take
do.
him aboard.
Yeah.
I definitely
Oh, yeah.
advocate to leave him marooned.
I mean, who would have a private room? Basically, just me. Who else would?
Jorgen and Z.
Yeah.
Is these
You said I had
really
one too.
private, though?
The surgeon.
You would not know.
Okay.
The ship's not big enough for that.
And like, yeah, we'll definitely take him where he wants to go, but he ain't getting my room. So
He could share mine. We have a history together.
yeah. I'll
Speaking
get
of
one
your
the boys
history
to-
together, I'm going to turn our attention to Jurgen's cabin, where he and Mamuto sit sharing a drink.
Uh, yeah, as he is sipping on his drink, Jurgen would look over and say, "So, where have you been all these years?"
He kind of stares into his cup for a long moment, swirling the liquid inside. You got like wine is typical, but I imagine you brought out the harder stuff for you and one of your buddies, you know?
Yeah.
And he eventually just shrugs and he says, "Yeah, I'm trying to put what we did behind us, and it hasn't been going well."
Unfortunately, it's the same here for me. It's kind of hard to unsee the things we've seen, the things we've done, for that matter.
He's holding his mug hard enough that his knuckles are white, and he's like, his hand is shaking a little bit. And he says, Jurgen, I know we killed a monster of a man, but I mean, jurors justice. The man killed children. I was there when he jumped from his seat and killed Guardy's boy. I don't want to know a man who could sit idly by when his kids are in danger. I came out here to escape from these feelings, and I just can't forget. We had a duty to uphold, and we killed the man who held it together. It makes me feel empty.
So, have you just been traveling everywhere?
I shacked up with that merchant vessel a few years back, made the rounds between here and the lands in the east, and, well, you know where we ended up eventually.
I suppose I do.
He takes a long drag of his brandy. Do you remember that night? When it all happened?
I don't think I could ever forget that.
And I'd like to take us back now to a time long before the events of the campaign, years ago, to a war that some of your characters here are too young to remember, and that others remember all too well. This conflict killed thousands on the vain efforts of one man who simply felt slighted. A younger Jurgen stands inside the throne room, alongside 100 of his Alamorn brothers. Mamuto to his left, and Jurgen, you know him, Vresh to your right, and directly ahead of you, the officer for your squad.
Does the officer have a name?
He does have a name. I am trying to find it in my notes. Gelt. Gelt.
Thank you.
While many of these men carry halberds, others carry swords, some spears, some axes, all have a shield upon their back bearing the symbol of arms of Fall Hill, the double-headed eagle. The Emperor and the Lord Captain of the Alamorn, Matthias Endry, stand at arm's length from one another. Around the Emperor, some of the other Alamorn stand confused. The betrayal had not included everyone, and those by the Emperor's side had to die, along with the ruler of an empire that has stood 1,000 years and would stand 1,000 more. Everything is silent, and the tension palpable. What are Jorgen's thoughts at this time?
Jorgen is in the heat of everything that has happened and is yet to happen, pretty much just in pure rage. Everything that he's having more emotions than actual thoughts, and all of those emotions just end in anger, in the thoughts that this man needs to be dead. He's usually a much more level-headed person,
Yeah.
but
The feeling
everything
is
has been extremely unforgivable.
the feeling is shared amongst your comrades. This man who would claim that God himself gave him the right to rule over Fall Hill, doing work that would darken his light. Opposite to him is a man that you all put your trust in fully. Lord Matthias Endry is old, even older than he is now. But you remember a younger version, where he just started to have streaks of gray in his hair, a thick mustache and beard starting to lose their color. And his eyes have always and remain to be like blue steel, determined and set, filled with confidence and pride. With you and your brothers at your side, you mirror his expression, one of serious determination. And it's the action of one man, unknown to everybody, on either side, that starts the melee that will erupt in the throne room of Fall Hill. Somebody fires their crossbow. Magic and blades flash through the whole throne room, staining pristine marble red with blood. The floors become slick, the rug stained, columns are broken. Eventually, though, your side is victorious. With Illis, the Mad Emperor, brought to his knees, screaming profanities at everybody. You pathetic whelps! Do you forget your oaths? Do you forget that I am your emperor? He hunches his shoulders, his grip on his blade tightening. If you drop your weapons and turn around now, I'll consider sparing all of your worthless lives. We're so close to winning this war. Treachery at a time like this will cost us everything. And that's when the first of the Alamorn stab him. And slowly, those that remain, including yourself, drive their blade into him.
And as Jorgen does this, he would drive his blade deep, going as far in as possible, and he would look Illis in the eyes and say, "I do remember my oath, and my oath is to protect my people from bastards like you." And pull his sword out and walk away for the next person to go in.
Eventually, the deed is done. Those who remain standing, you included, all turn your eyes to Lord Captain Endry. Says, "You're heroes, all of you. But what's been done cannot be undone. I'll do what I can to spare you the death penalty once Aishis is coronated. But don't expect to man your posts long. Dismissed. And he waves his hand. You, Mamuto, Fresh, and Gelt all meet in the hallway outside the throne room. What are your words with each other?
I would look to my officer, Gelt. Gelt was the officer, correct?
Yep. He's a half-orc. He's big, he's imposing, but unlike Illis or how orcs are reputed, he's got, like, an intelligence about him. Like, you can just kind of feel it whenever he speaks or looks at you.
Yeah, I would look to Officer Gelt and say, I feel we did the right thing today. What are you thinking?
I agree, but oaths are oaths. This act can't go unpunished even if it was for the right reasons.
Surely our people will understand.
In time. Until then, and he, like, claps you on the back, and then Fresh, who's standing right next to you, says, why don't the four of us all go get hammered?
I could go for that.
And we have a slow montage. These four men drinking, going through their emotions, and one by one, each of them receives a letter. The first to go is Gelt. Next is Fresh. Then Mamuto. And finally you, Jorgen. You have been stripped of your rank and permanently dismissed from the Alamorn.
And this comes from Captain Indri.
Yep.
He was in on it too, right?
Yes.
Uh,
There's some other politics at play that Jorgen would not be aware of.
Jorgen holding his letter, or after receiving the letter and reading it, would look to Indri and say, I hope you know what you're doing. Because this doesn't feel right to me. But I believe you know better than I.
You are a good brother, Jorgen, and it brings me no pleasure to do this to many loyal men, especially those that stood by my side and took down a tyrant. But this was a major breach of tradition, our oaths, and all other protocol. If it were up to me, I'd give you all farmsteads to go retire to, with full pension. But it's not, and regardless of the reasons, we can't have members of the Emperor's bodyguard who have killed the previous Emperor. Sends the wrong message.
Unfortunately, I understand. Where do you think we should go from here?
He shrugs. That's up to you. Just stay safe.
Where are you gonna go from here?
I will remain here.
And you don't think the people will have any ill wills against yourself?
He shrugs. It's not my concern.
You do realize I had 3 years left. That's it. And then I would have had that farmstead. I hope I see you again in the future. And maybe you can help your brother out. And he walks away.
Jorgen, one more thing.
Yes, Captain?
You and all the others are going to feel like you've lost something much greater than yourselves. I hope you find that.
I thought I did.
Fate's a funny thing.
Aye. Aye, it is.
Dismissed.
And then he would walk away.
We return to the present. Mamoto sits in his chair, still nursing the cup of brandy, and the two of you just sitting in silence.
Sorry, I'm just typing this down real quick.
It's okay, because I was going to continue on. I was just giving you a second if you had anything to say.
No, he would just also be there. Despite the fact that he wants to ask 1,000 questions, he understands what it is that Mamoto is going through. And he can kind of tell that he needs a little bit of silence with just a friend nearby.
And here's what you don't see. In the shadows aboard the boat, while you and Mamoto talk, stands the sailor Moreland with an improvised device listening through the door. He nods to somebody unseen before leaving. And now we are in the present, where the ship is docked at Guildley Castle.
So, I forget how long was the trip back to Gildley?
It was
after-
3 days there, 3 days back.
Okay, so it's been 3 days. We also used all of our rations because we had 6 days of rations.
Yep, you have to set that to 0.
Yep. That's a O. There's a 0. And our ship, just so everybody knows, the ship is slightly damaged because we hit a rock or an iceberg.
You hit some rocks and
So-
some shallower water.
Yeah, so it's got a decent bit of damage. It could still keep afloat, but it might be good to do some repairs while we're back. Actually, I suppose Jorgen, in character, would go to Tilia and say, Captain, I'm sure you remember, but we did get the lady a little roughed up back there on those rocks. So we may need to do some repairs before we go out on our next venture.
You certainly can't have her, off to sea scorned, defeat the whole purpose. Well, what's the damage? How much is it gonna run?
She'll keep afloat for a bit, but I'd say not for too much longer. Out of character, she's at 88% health.
Well, I guess we'd best go and make repair.
Okay. So the cost of repair is 1 GP per hull point lost, with a flat repair fee of 4d8.
Okay. Do I roll that or do you roll that?
I will roll that.
Okay, so 48 plus 12. Oh, that's not bad. 20? You can easily
Yeah.
afford that.
You guys got lucky. There was a cheap crew available to repair the ship.
Very nice. I know some people on this island.
Okay. So we're at 14, 18 gold, and the ship's tip-top shape.
Yep.
What is everybody's share from the stuff now that we're back and can sell it?
119.
119 is our share. Okay.
Yes, it would.
I will add that.
Okay, so as the person that's keeping track of all the money, I suppose Jorgen has a bit of say in some of the things that are going on. He says, we also used up all the crew's food, so we'll have to stock up on some rations.
Aye, that we should. Now, the question is, we've been doing fairly well, I would say. Why don't we spring for a little extra meat with this next trip's rations? Should be good for morale.
I'm sure they'd appreciate that.
Lord knows I
And-
would.
And while we're at it, can we get him an extra set of cards? I'm sick of playing with those sticky, fucking cards.
Right, and while we're at it, maybe some dice. You know what? Next time
Actually-
we're ashore, we'll go on a shopping trip. I'll take Z with me.
Ooh, I love shopping. But I've got the dice covered. I've been working on some stuff.
Be that as it may, I'll should also pick up a set for myself.
Sounds good.
All right.
Over the lens, can I make like a craft check or something to see if I can whittle some dice or some shit for the past few days?
Do you have that as a craft skill?
Yes, it is. I have whittling,
Yeah, go ahead, roll it.
whatever the fuck it is.
We'll just see if you make some quality dice or not.
We'll see. We'll also see if I spelled whittling right, because that would be deeply embarrassing.
Instead of whittling, it's whittlewing.
Why didn't it roll? Oh, there we go.
It says Whittly.
Yeah, you make some average dice.
All right, how many sets of dice?
Two.
Roll a d6, that's how many.
2 sets. It's gambling dice, so you make like 4 individual dice because a set of them would just be 2.
Yeah. All right. So I've handed that out among the crew. By fake losing games and gambling more.
Cool. I'll say since you're giving them some new dice and toys to play with, you can raise the crew's morale by 5.
Is that on Anthony's tracker?
It is. There's one that all of you. There's one that all of you can see, but only Anthony can edit.
Oh, all right. Can I edit just that one part?
Actually, where? Oh, it's in a separate thing. It's not on. Okay. $79. Would we lose?
Goodbye.
Abby, no.
Yeah, big.
Abby, you got moved to the AFK channel.
Oh no.
I'd be competitive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
we
outside
can.
of push to talk. If you don't push it for like 10 minutes, you're out.
What? Mine does not do that.
Sorry, I was not AFK. I've been here the whole time.
I've been here the whole time.
You're not salmon. You stop it.
She said salmon.
Did you
character
say
is so excited.
salmon?
That's some
Oh,
good
man.
stuff. Okay.
I love Game Changers so much.
What a good detour. Okay, so what's going on?
Well, Tilia, you get approached by Mamuto.
Ah, Makoto, what can I do for you?
He's like, it's Mamuto, and if it's not like too imposing, you have one of my comrades here on your ship. If you have an opening. I guess I'd like to join.
I will, is Momoto the average stature?
He's on the taller side, but he's more lean than he is big.
Awesome. I will, extend a hand, and once he grabs it, I will pull him in and, hug him very tightly.
He's like, all right.
Oh, welcome aboard. You seem like you can handle your own, and, well, the more friends to keep the crew attached to the ship, the better, in my opinion. And,
Right.
I'll let him go, let him catch his breath. Now, was that all? I can go over your compensation package and what to expect if you'd like, but it's really standard fare.
He shrugs. He says, "Whatever you're giving to the rest of the crew is good enough for me."
You get 1% every take, and you get a mostly leak-free roof above your head most nights.
And that's better than the barracks Jorgen and I stayed in, so I'll take it.
From Jorgen's old stare off into space days. Gotcha. Well, don't be a stranger. My door is always open.
I appreciate that.
And I'm sure by that point, someone's going to be pulling Tilia in some different direction.
Yeah, Jimmy's like come up and is like grabbing on your arm, and he's like, "I need you to show me how to use the spear again." You've never shown him how to use the spear.
Grab the mop. I'll show you a thing or two.
Oh my god.
I'm dead.
Now to build up your arm strength for handling the spear, what I need you to do is make really tight, fast circles with the mop, all from the front of the deck way to the back. Now
He sets to it with like such abandon.
I'll check on him every few minutes. To give him a hearty slap on the back.
Right. Anyone else like to do anything? The island is your oyster.
I mean, we go shopping, and that's very fun for me.
Okay. Are you only shopping for supplies?
I don't know. Tilia's the one that takes me shopping.
I think I'm also gonna snag Dragona as a fairly level-headed individual to come with us shopping. Otherwise, I think
Cut back
I
to
would get carried away.
Dragona laughing maniacally as they cut open some crabs. Level-headed.
I was going to say, if anyone's level-headed to go shopping with, it's probably not Dragona, but okay.
Hate shopping, but like captain's orders, right? So like
I
she's
feel like
coming
it's
with.
anyone but Dragona, but okay.
No, listen, being a captain is about judging people not by their actions or what they actually say, but some arbitrary connection that I make.
Yeah, some gut feeling, you know?
It's the vibe.
For
And
real,
I
for
mean-
real.
See, the thing is, Dragona looks like she's gonna kill herself on the way to the market, so as long as I take her with, we'll be over with it very quickly, and we won't dawdle.
Yeah, but that's balancing out me, who's like looking at every shop window, like
Yeah.
trying to compare stores and find the best prices.
Speaking of shops,
I would like to tag along if possible.
awesome, perfect. Speaking of shops, as the four of you are making your way through the town surrounding Guild Lake, normally, whenever you guys come in here, you go right to the bar, but going with the group vibe here, spirits are up, so you guys are kind of making a day out of it, you know? Going places you normally wouldn't go. And the city around the castle actually has a lot to offer other than just bars and brothels and inns. There are general stores. There are there are clothing stores. There are smithies, armorers. And one in particular catches Z's and Vapor's eye. Keen Blades is the sign, and in the window you can see blades of all different styles. Some from the east, some from the west, some made right here in the Isles in the very crude, almost cleaverish fashion of the pirates in the area. Do you want to go in?
Yeah.
Vapor aggressively taps on Z and just points.
Oh, yeah, we gotta go in there. We'll be quick.
All right.
And besides, I'm down a knife. I only have 100 now.
Yeah,
Ah.
she had 101.
My, you
She's
are
missing
rolling
one.
Yeah, you're
She's
running
a new one.
solo. There's behind the counter is a tall, but very thin, almost sickly so looking elf. And he sees you, he's like, welcome to my humble store. How can I help you?
I want to know what everything is right now.
Same.
He's like, well, I see that you, looking at Z, are a connoisseur of blades.
Yes, and you have a beautiful collection in here.
Well, here on the right, we have blades from Fall Hill and the Gudosian Orc tribes, axes, scimitars from the desert. We have arming swords, claymores, broadswords, short swords, these little handy daggers, the humble rapier for whenever you're in a noble spat.
Interesting. Tell me a bit more about your daggers.
This one here, and he pulls out one that looks pretty regular. I got it off of a man about a couple of weeks ago. Very nice, sharp edge, steel blade. Will never rust. And I want you to make me a spot check. Both of you.
Is there rust on it?
I gotta find the skills even though I know they're in alphabetical order.
Right.
Dude, the alphabet's so hard. Letters aren't where they should be.
Me
I don't
saying
think so.
the alphabet every time I need to roll anything.
No, I just spot check. Oh, that's terrible.
I will give you one reroll because I really want this to succeed.
Okay.
Can I also get advantage?
You've already hit your DC. You're good.
Fine. Okay.
He's not making an attempt to hide them. It's just more like he has my attention. What do I notice in my periphery kind of thing.
Is that better?
There you go. Yep. All right. I'm going to start with Z since they currently have his attention. He's telling you all about this dagger. He pulls out a few other ones that are kind of, I guess, boring would be the word. Like they're just daggers, you know, nothing special about them.
I have 99 of those.
But then you see one on the shelf. It's silver in color. And the design of the handle has a tentacle going up the back of the blade. Well, not the back, the back. The sides, like the thick part of the flat part of the blade. In like almost an octopus/squid design. And then right where the head of the squid is, instead of it being carved into an octopus or squid head out of the same metal, it's a large red ruby.
These are all marvelously interesting. Now, I know that you know I know my knives, so do tell me about that one. And I point to it.
He gets like a smug smirk on his face. And he carefully retrieves it. He says, "This right here is a very special artifact.
Mhm.
Sailor sold it to me. he found it out amongst the waves. He said that when he and his men were lost at sea, they found this dagger embedded into the side of a dead shark.
I don't trust that dagger. I'm not there, but I don't trust that dagger.
So,
Rumor has it that whoever owned this dagger is still looking for it. But the material is a mystery. It looks like silver, but it is not silver. It's not steel, it's not iron, and it's definitely not bronze or copper. And he gives it a flick, and you hear that, like, you know when you have a really sharp blade and you, like, nick the edge, there's that, like, ringing noise? He does that, and it is loud. This thing is very, very sharp. Some say it's cursed by the seas. Others say it's blessed, but who knows for sure?
it's gorgeous, but we don't know enough about it. I'm not sure. I mean, it's obviously very sharp, but I can't tell how well it would actually work.
Would you like a test cut?
Sure.
Perfect.
Has it been tested before?
I test all of my blades to make sure they cut.
Oh, of course. A man of quality.
He goes and he finds a mannequin with some, like, not quite leather, but padded armor, still some thick material. He very carefully hands you the blade.
I'd like to try and look as carefree as possible and quite impressive and just flick the blade right, like, in between where the eyes would be.
That's going to require an attack roll.
I'm sure it is. I don't have the stats for this blade. Do you want me to just roll with one of my other ones?
Yeah, just roll as a regular dagger.
Okay. I have quite a few of those. Oh, thank God.
Hey,
Oh, no, I rolled
there you
the
go,
wrong
Z.
one.
Yeah. You throw and you nail it directly between the eyes. The shopkeeper whistles. It's like, wow, that was a very nice throw.
She's a pretty good shot when she wants to be.
And then the wooden mannequin, the wood around where the dagger touched, starts to turn black.
Oh, you're not going to be able to afford this, Emma. Okay. So tell me, what does a dagger usually run for?
Around here, they're as plentiful as can be. Usually only, I would say, gosh, I have so many, I usually sell them for a silver a pop. This thing, however, it's going to be quite a lot more.
Well, what's your asking price so we can barter a bit for it? With a wink.
For something like this, and he, like, barely runs his finger along the blade again, I would normally charge 1,000 gold pieces.
What do you say normally? What's the deal for someone who can throw it like that?
Well, I say normally because, given its make, that and for the average wealth of this area, that's way too much.
Oh, clearly.
So I am willing to part with it for 700.
600. And you've got a deal.
Diplomacy.
Please, I want it so badly. Why is my character sheet not pulling up? Oh my god.
I guess you could say, a fan of anybody who can use a dagger that well. You have a deal.
It's like, oh my gold, I don't even care. I hand him over the gold, say, an absolute pleasure doing business. I assure you, I will be back.
He offers a humble bow.
And while I'm at it, can you just tack on one of those little normal ones? As a buy one, get one? And I point to one of the ones that he sells for like one gold piece or one silver piece that looks just like my other matching 99 in my cloak.
Why not?
Amazing. Okay, I put the cool one in my belt and put the other one in the missing spot.
All right, cool.
I
So
still
that
have-
that dagger is a +2 dagger,
Yeah.
and its special effect is when you stab somebody with it, it deals 2d6 necrotic damage.
That's really
In
cool.
addition to its regular damage.
That's
Wow.
really cool.
Vapor.
Yes.
Hello.
Remind me again, what type of blade do you use? A rapier, correct?
I use rapier, yes. Indeed, I do.
It takes some perusing. Like, he has quite the assortment. Like I said, he's got blades of all kinds. From all kinds of different areas. He's got katanas, he's got spears, axes, longswords, arming swords, etc. The whole wide variety. Well, what catches your eye is it's not a rapier. It's too thick. It's more like, I'm not sure if you know what an estoc is. It's like a rapier, but thicker. It's still designed for stabbing, but it's heavier, so that way people who ride on a horse can use it and not snap it.
It's my weapon of choice in Dark Souls 1.
Is it considered a two-handed
No,
because of its weight? No?
no. It's still light enough to be used with one hand.
Okay.
Is it a finesse weapon? Out of curiosity.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
However, what strikes you odd about it isn't that it's thicker, it is the color. It is green.
Okay.
The shopkeep sees you eyeing it, and he kind of sidles up to you, and he says, admiring this blade here, huh?
Just a little bit. What can you tell me about it?
Are you familiar with this type of metal?
Afraid not.
Normally, this type of metal is only found in the East, with the great elf crafting guilds. Somebody in Fallhill was lucky enough to have found the secret himself. This is adamantine.
Can I have a spelling?
Yeah, I'll type it in Discord.
Thank you.
That is the metal. And if you notice down here by the hilt, and he draws your eye to a symbol of a snake. Do you know what this means?
You'll shake your head.
This means that this used to once belong to a blade master.
I'm terrified to ask this question. This is now a character statement. Yeah, I'm terrified to ask this question. In character. That's quite interesting. How much would you put a price on for something like this?
Hmm. $1,000 gold pieces.
Nick, I don't think you can afford that.
I'd like to jump in and say, and for the area and also your very loyal customers.
I'm afraid that's already including that. This is adamantine. This blade will never break. It will never rust. It will never lose its edge. This metal is practically indestructible. Men in the East use this to break other blades. And it was wielded by a blade master. If the man is still alive, well, let's just say I wouldn't want you to tell him that I sold it to you.
Well, first, we are known incredibly well for our discretion. And second, at that price, in this area, it'll never sell. But we can give you a pretty good deal. One where you'll get the money, you'll sell the sword, and we will keep our lips very tight.
How much you got, Blake?
Nowhere near enough.
Ah.
What's the number you have?
I literally was broke when we started this campaign. Like, I had no gold when we started because I used it all. I literally have, I think, like 100 and something. Yeah, I have 137 gold pieces.
Oh, you broke.
Yeah. I
Same, though.
literally want to cry
Same.
right now.
I tried.
You literally offered me the most wonderful thing ever, and I literally want to cry right now.
Because you're correct that this will likely never sell, but obviously you are interested.
Well,
Yeah.
you also do have 2 other crewmates outside.
Yeah, we can go beg for money. I'm not above that.
I didn't think Z was.
And he's like, you're welcome to think on it, and it'll surely be here whenever you return.
Could
I
it
do-
possibly be here for 800 whenever we return?
$850.
Right. Well, think on it. You are a very generous man, and I do say I love your shop. We'll be back. An
Thank you for
hour
your
later,
time, sir.
we exit the store. I'm sure they're pissed.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Of course. Alright, yeah, you guys exit the store. There's everybody else.
Very impatiently waiting. right, everybody.
Here's
Oh.
here's the difference between for party knowledge and for people who are currently watching and may watch this later. The difference between Vapor and Z is that Z is not above asking people for money, while Vapor does not like asking people for money.
I'm about to go beg the crew.
She is about to go beg the crew for money, and Vapor is about to go hide in a corner and be like, "Do not do this. I will literally hate you."
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm fully aware that this is what is going to happen. Alright, so I go out where the party is like, I don't know, twiddling their thumbs or whatever you guys are doing. After we said we'd be quick.
Some guy like with a cart was selling like some street food or something, and they're just munching down.
Hey guys, here's the deal. Vapor is a very talented fighter and a really essential member of our team. And there's a sword in there that is perfect for her. One that is worth way more than she can afford, or I can afford. But together, because I asked
Please.
for the price to be lowered. No, shush.
Please,
Together.
please don't.
No, shush. Together, we can put enough money to buy her that amazing sword. And we are about to go and get a fuck ton of money by cutting off so many ears.
She literally just tries to shove her hand into Z's face and just cover her mouth while she's trying to speak to them.
I try and slap it away.
Dragona, like, not amused at all, will be like, okay, go work for your blade then. Go earn your keep.
Has she not?
Obviously not enough to be able to afford that blade.
Well,
Thank
that
you,
is a
Dragona,
problem
thank you.
with the work that we, as a crew, have done. Consider it an investment for the future.
Dragona will scoff and say, I will invest in nothing. Come back to me when you are buying an axe.
I believe that.
He had some axes in there, actually.
Oh, they were stunning.
No.
She'll just, like, scoff. Interested, but, like, not enough to, like, prove you guys right to go in and look.
Well, I admire someone who sticks by their word. Captain?
Oh. Well, you've caught this soft-hearted captain at a crossroads.
Captain, I promise you do not have to. I am not one who asks others for money. Shoots the
that's
glare.
true.
Sir.
But every member of the ship should have a weapon that they are proud to call their own. For example, and she'll pull out her, unstrap her 8-foot-long spear from her pack. The Cordora has served me lovely for years and years, and I'd like for you to have a named sword of your own. Granted, I have 400 gold for you. Say we go back to the ship, I can put a good word into Jorgen, and he might be able to expend a bit of gold.
And if you really don't want to take it, Vapor, consider a loan and pay them back once we make riches.
She'll just roll her eyes at you.
As she should.
She's already mad enough at you for even asking, so anything you say at this point out right now is she's just rolling her eyes at you.
No, she can go sleep with the fucking crew. I have my own room.
She'll go sleep in a shadow somewhere on the ship.
Yeah, I even got you a bedroll for my furnitureless room. Alright, we can move on.
All right. Speaking of Jorgen, what are Jorgen and Kazar up to?
That's an excellent question. So, actually, I'll leave it. I'll leave it to Kazar. Kazar, I'd be hanging out with you. What are you doing?
Hanging out with me?
Hey.
Alright, what's the time of day?
It's like afternoon. Like you still got most of the day ahead of you.
Afternoon? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the weather like?
Though there's still
Raining?
though there are still those storm clouds. It's not raining and there's no wind.
Kazar might be on the on the deck then. Kind of quietly watching the view, looking at the other ships from the deck, while waiting for something to happen, and just kind of thinking to himself.
Give me a little bit of insight into Kazar's mind here. What's he thinking about?
Mostly, he's thinking about recent immediate events. Going over what happened with Jorgen, the events leading up to it, kind of working through the bits and pieces he knows about in his mind, and just thinking about what could be the cause, potential things he might suggest to the captain if they ask them. About what could be done about it. One specific idea that comes to mind is potentially seeking the wisdom of the group that has been in this area for a long time and would know more about what this particular magic might be, and what effect this might be, and what effect that has happened to Jorgen might have originated from. Because the amulet that he believes is the sole spark of starting whatever's happened to Jorgen is clearly from this area and has some significance to the religion here.
Okay.
So, not that Jorgen is at all in your head, but you have been. Kazar kind of has been the person trying to figure out what's going on, like coming up with theories, and of course being the only two main crew members that are around. Jorgen would go over and say, I hope that I do appreciate what you're trying to do for me.
Kazar looks over to you and he does his his signature eye raise, but there's a slight smile to it, like
he's being coy.
Yeah, like he's the word's escaping me, but yeah, that's what he does. I'd do the same for any member of the crew.
But I was adjusting my headset. What did you say?
I'd do the same for any member of the crew.
I'm sure you would, but right now, I'm that member, so I just wanted to extend my gratitude.
You're welcome.
Where did Mamoto left the ship, right?
He joined the crew.
Okay, so he's on the ship as well.
Yeah, actually, like, he's just kind of following you around. Like, he's almost in like a bodyguard position where he's positioned himself like a step and a half behind you. But Mamoto uses a halberd, so it doesn't matter if he's that far away. He'll still stick somebody like from that distance.
Okay. Well, I suppose Jorgen would look back to his friend and he says, so considering you might be around here for a while, shall I introduce you to the crew?
You're saying this to Mamoto?
Yes.
He shrugs. He says, I mean, may as well.
Okay. Well, in that case, follow me. And he would just start going around trying to introduce him to everybody.
As you do that, you leave the area that Kazar is in, and then Kazar. But do you leave to do anything else, or do you remain where you are?
I think Kazar remains on the deck. He might shift his position after the conversation is over, and maybe go to the other side of the deck to lean on that railing while looking over at something and going back into his own head.
Okay. While you're there, so before you were watching some of the other ships, so now that you're on the other side, you're looking at the dock itself instead of just ships. And approaching your ship is a man on a small cart pulled by a donkey. As he gets close, you hear him say, "Now slow down, Julius." It's moving at a snail's pace. We're not in a rush. And he looks up, seeing you leaning against the railing, and he says, "Ho there!"
Kazar will he'll do his signature expression and then with the eye raise and then nod back. Hello.
Pardon the intrusion there, young man. My name is Jeremiah, and me and Julius here, and he pats the donkey on the neck. We're looking to maybe catch a ride?
Where are you headed to?
Well, next stop for us is out there in Oxfell.
Damn, that's
Is that the direction?
all the way up north.
Is that the direction we're headed?
Yeah, you guys are going Oxfell and Fellwood.
Okay. Kazar nods and says, we're gonna be heading out in that direction when we set sail next. You'll have to ask the captain when they get back, though. And there'll likely be a fee, of course.
Yes, of course, of course. Do you mind if I wait aboard?
like he pauses a moment as if like taking a second, longer than normal to consider it, and then says, "I don't see why not. Come aboard."
All right. He goes, "Yeah!" And the donkey very slowly turns and goes up the gangplank. When he gets up there, you notice that he's already, I guess his vibe is already kind of weird. But looking at him, it gets even weirder. On his left hand, he only has his index finger and his thumb left. Everything else is a stump. He's dressed in like almost rags. Not quite enough to like be homeless. He's definitely not that because he's a little clean, but his clothes, like, he has to have owned this pair for a long, long time. They've lost a lot of their color. He is bald. And on his back, he has a big, like, around his shoulders are two straps, and then is just a really long bundle wrapped in black cloth.
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me on for the ride. And he hops off and, like, in the back of his little cart, he pulls out a big jug, bouncing it on that one finger on his left hand. He says, "Rum?"
You said it was afternoon. How late in the afternoon? Is it like hitting evening?
It's like 3.
3?
Yeah. You guys would have arrived at port at about 12, so you've only been here about 3 hours.
He considers it for a moment and then holds his hand up and says, "A bit early for me, friend. Ask again in a few hours."
Suit yourself. He just takes a swig right out of the jug. I would say probably about another hour passes before Dragona, Tilia, Z, and Vapor return to the ship. I mean, not to step on any toes there, was there anything else that you four wanted to do?
I came to shore to get a pack of cards, that's all.
Okay, you got a lot of static on your end there.
Testing. Any better?
It goes away with like a snap, and then you're good. So.
All I came ashore to do was buy a pack of cards. As long as that was accomplished, I'm gonna drag everyone back before too long.
Okay. Dragona, was there anything that you wanted to do?
She'll definitely need a drink after that shopping experience, but other than that, no.
What a coincidence. Alright. Yeah, then the four of you come back to the ship. Is Kazar still on the deck whenever the captain arrives?
Yeah. Do they come back in the evening or?
Yeah, they come back at like 4 or 5.
Okay. Does the merchant ask again when it hits around 5?
Yes.
The drink?
Oh yes, 100%.
When it hits around 5ish, then Kazar does accept the drink.
Awesome. Roll fortitude, please.
Okay. Let me find my thing. Stats. Fortitude. 13.
Good enough. Yeah, it's rum, so you're expecting maybe like a slight spiced flavor. You're not expecting it to burn as much as this does. That's all the fortune check was for. It's not poison or anything.
Okay.
And he goes, "Yep, I make this myself."
That's quite the kick.
That's right. I wanted to give it a bite worse than a bull shark. All these young people with their wines and their ales. They don't know proper drink anymore. And I mean, that's exactly when you four get there, so.
Oh, you'd have best saved some rum for me.
There's plenty to go around. I ain't afraid to share.
Yeah, Tilia's gonna peel off her boots and air out her socks. Uncork one of the fresh bottles of rum. Anything exciting happen aboard while we were gone?
This gentleman here is headed our way and wants to ask for a ride.
This gentleman being Makoto and Mamoto.
Mamoto's part of the crew. This guy has not introduced himself to you.
Oh, okay. Is he a friend of yours, Kazar?
No,
Just met, I'm
we
afraid.
only just met.
Though I think I'm growing on him.
And what exactly is your story?
I'm sorry. My name is Jeremiah. Well, it used to be Father Jeremiah, but not anymore, unfortunately. And you also now notice how he's missing all his fingers except the index finger and thumb on this hand. And even on his other hand, he's also missing a couple fingers.
Well, Mr. Jeremiah, Tilia will say, pulling herself up to her full height, extending a hand. I'd be hard-pressed to say no to a traveler in need, but you understand we do have crew to keep happy. If it's on the way, I'm sure it won't be too much of an issue. Where are you heading?
I'm heading to Oxfell Castle.
Oxfell.
Got myself some acquaintances to meet.
All the way north.
Yeah, I'll turn. First mate, where's Oxfell?
Do I know that?
Yes, you do.
And where is the I'm trying to look for the name, but the island that we're going to find the traders.
They're between Fellwood and Oxfell, so nobody's confirmed. But that's the
I know
general
there
area.
wasn't a real island. Well, it's north and it is in the area. Can I sense motive this guy?
Sure.
Scrolling all the way down to S.
13. Okay, yeah, so real quick about sense motive. So sense motive is not we've used it like this a couple of times, not this particular time. But sense motive is, as a matter of fact, not a lie detector. It is not used to discern somebody's lying. It's used to discern someone's vibes.
And that's exactly what I want to know. I just want to know his vibes.
I know in this case that's what it was, but just a correction of how used in the past.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, the vibe you get is just weird, not danger.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Is Jeremiah spelled normally?
Yes.
Cool.
Azar speaks up to the captain. I made sure to tell them that there'd likely be a fee for the journey, of course.
Do you take payment in rum?
Depends on the rum.
I make it myself.
Is that in which I was partaking just now?
Yes.
Is it good rum, in Tilia's opinion?
I would imagine in Tilia's opinion, yes. Like, Tilia's not for the, like, super sweet stuff. I imagine they like harsh stuff. So...
You'd be surprised. But, Tilia will take another swig and look contemplatively. And, how many bottles?
I'll give you 5. These are, like, growler-sized bottles. So.
Yeah, like proper jugs, I'm
Mhm.
sure.
I'll show you some proper jugs.
Don't.
Well, seeing as it's not too far out of our way, and so long you don't mind any time constraints, we might have some other errands to run beforehand. I don't see a reason not to just let you stay aboard. We've got plenty of canvas to hang for a bed. And
He goes, oh, I'll just sleep on deck.
all
All
the better.
snuggled up with Don Quixote.
And I presume you have the means to feed your companion there?
Of course. Julius loves his oats.
Well, ever being a captain of the people, I will give one glance around, making eye contact with all the crew present, looking for any signs of disagreement.
Their morale's good, so nobody questions it.
I'll raise one of the growlers and give him a good old welcome aboard, and Tilia will start chugging.
Perfect.
Now, might I ask what your friend's name is? I don't want to be referring to that beast or that creature over there.
This right here, this is Julius.
Julius. And Tilia will give a moderately courteous curtsy to Julius.
The donkey looks at you. It is a donkey.
Lovely. Well, now, Jeremiah just happened to pick up a fresh set of cards while we were ashore. Fancy a hands with the rest of us? Get to know each other?
Oh, of course.
I imagine I didn't mention this earlier, but I imagine we probably picked up like 2 or 3 decks of cards just because we have such a large group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't just gonna be like one set.
Yeah, we probably got like 5.
I don't know. Yeah, if they got like a bulk pack for 10 or something, I'll get some.
Went to Costco.
Yeah, just did toss them into the cruise quarters on some random hammocks. They'll get around to where they need to go.
Ooh. That's a good way to do it.
All right, guys. We're going to take our first break here. Give you guys 15 minutes.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, I am going to make the most of that, so I will be back later.
I'm back. Who else is here? Nobody. Cool.
We were out
Yes, we're
chilling with the
for
fam.
everyone else except for Cassie.
I'm back.
She said, except for
That's
Cass.
what I said, except for Cassie.
You were the exception.
Everyone else
Yes,
except
yeah,
for Cassie.
I misunderstood.
Did you think she said everyone's back but Cassie?
Yes.
That's the
Wasn't
opposite
really.
message.
Yes, I got the exact opposite message. In my defense, I wasn't really listening.
It's a fair point.
No, I gave you a compliment, Cassie. That was
I know.
probably one of the best compliments I could have given you.
That's
She's timely.
damn. Thanks.
Got
More
her
a
roasted.
statement than a compliment. Cassie is back.
One of the best compliments I could give you while not in person.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah. Getting it.
Robert, you should bring actually with you to work so that you could bring it to Caves.
Hello. Hello.
Snagged me after work, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're on your own.
Hey, man. So
Yeah, I got
also,
you.
by the way, like, my Katie told me, she was like, "Hey, make sure you bring in air mattress," and I was like, "Okay, got it, no problem." I assumed my parents were going to take their camper camping. No, they're going to use tents, and they took the air mattress.
Oh,
So I will not have an air mattress.
They got a
they
couch
have
and a recliner.
Yeah,
Two recliners.
honestly, as long as there's somewhere, I'm good. Also,
Actually, the couch that they have is my old couch, which was the comfiest couch.
awesome. Is Alex and Abby back?
Yes, we is.
Okay. Quick aside before we start up again. I got a Game Boy emulator on my PC.
Okay.
And I've been playing the old fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy games.
Yo.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm playing through the Sacred Cards right now. That game is so easy.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to just stomp in those.
Yeah, well, I remember having two. I forget exactly what they were, but I remember the second one being so much harder than the first one for no reason.
You
See,
know,
the main Yu-Gi-Oh game I had was for the Game Boy Color. I don't remember exactly what it was called. That one was impossible.
I feel like there were so many games where it just like it seemed really hard, and then you played it, and it like you play it again in the future, and it's really not that bad. Like, which I'm trying to remember which Spyro game I had. I think it was Enter the Dragonfly. Uh,
For the
it,
PlayStation 1?
no, it wasn't. It was whichever one was on the Wii.
I
Uh,
didn't know there was a Spyro for the Wii, so I'm out.
Dawn of the Dragon. That's what it was. Uh, and yeah, there was like one boss that was impossible to beat, and then like I whipped out the old Wii and beat it like first try. I just needed a few years to put it
Yeah.
on pause.
Hone your knowledge.
No,
Some games do be like that, but like I can't remember that specific Yu-Gi-Oh game. Just I remember the like just the random difficulty spike because it was like in this one you have like this weird almost rock paper scissors thing where it's like depending on the type of monster, if it's like wind, lightning, aqua, whatever, like, doesn't matter the amount of attack or defense points, it'll just instantly kill it if it's of the like countering type. So you could literally have like the most OP card out and it be like an earth type monster, but if they play a wind, it doesn't matter if that thing has 100 attack points, it'll destroy that monster. Like, and
Wild.
I'm like, that's so fucking dumb. Because that gets rid of the whole aspect of the game where it's like I summon a powerful monster to kill your monster and drain you of your life points. Like, now, why do that? Like, well, I mean, I know why do that, but like, why not just wait till you show me what you summoned, play the counter to it? Like, the AI doesn't think that way, so like, it's just by chance if it ever does it. But like, I can just do that.
Yeah.
It makes the game trivial. I remember that not being a thing in the second one, but also in the second one, they would just be like in the first turn, Blue Eyes White Dragon, you're dead. Like, and it's like, why?
Screw the rules. I have money.
Anyways, back to the game. Ration costs for this trip. It's, I think I said it was 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks, 15 days, something like that.
2 weeks.
Are we going straight to Oxfell, or did we pick up some shipping jobs to play merchant along the way?
You guys would easily have the money for rations there and back. I've already done the math.
Oh, okay.
It's 420 gold.
Yeah,
At 5 silver a pop for each person, 14 days. So that's 7 gold one way, 7 gold again back, 14 gold times 30. 420.
yeah,
Still
so
imagining sea red.
That was
it would be nice to transport some legal goods, help offset that cost, but that takes bigger brains than Tilia's.
Yeah, I thought we had just decided to go right there.
Yeah.
Going right to Oxfell?
There's a little place in between Oxfell and the one that starts with an F. And
Fellwood.
Fellwood, yeah. And like killing the dudes. Doing our mercenary thing.
Okay.
That job will pay enough that it'll basically pay for the expenses of the trip. Like,
Tilia, you did mention wanting to get like the good food. Were you thinking double rations?
I guess double rations is probably the closest thing to what she would want. So
okay,
yeah.
well, in that case, that's 840 gold.
Yeah. We are currently at 1418, so that'd be over half of our goal. But
yeah,
we're about to
okay.
make
So
one.
rations are high, or sorry, morale is already high, so we don't really need to spend all of our bankroll on feeding them on a single trip.
Okay.
Tilia will spend, I don't know, 100 gold on some extra rations for a night of partying, but that's about it.
Okay. And Robert, tell me one more time. You said it's 30 a ration?
No, so a single ration is 5 silver pieces, but you have to factor in how many days, which is 14, So
Yes.
I just say that's 7 gold
Okay.
per person, and then you have 30 crew
yes.
members. So that's 7 gold one way. So 14 gold there and back again times 30.
So don't we have like 31 now? Because we.
I'm not including Mamuto.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then I will subtract that. We will be at 998. 998.
Mamuto is somebody that you guys can choose to go on expeditions with you or not. He is part of the party.
Uh-huh.
Neat.
Hey, way earlier in the beginning of the session, when Moreland was eavesdropping, did he report back to me or not?
Nope.
Okay.
As far as you are concerned, you don't know anything.
Yep. Double checking. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. And away you all sail. For picking up the rum, go ahead and knock the crew's morale up another 2 points.
All right.
Doing great.
Yeah.
And also for various actions related to the scorned lady, your reputation goes up by 1.
Nice. So we now have a reputation of 1.
Yep. Instead of 0, it is
Wow, people know us.
not really.
I didn't say a lot of people.
But like a person has heard of us that otherwise wouldn't have.
At least one
Exactly.
people.
We're
One
on a ledger somewhere now instead of non-existent.
Okay, what's next?
Sounds like you guys are going to Oxfell.
Roll for
It
fate.
does.
I mean, roll for random encounter.
Roll for death. Um,
That tracks.
yeah. Go ahead and I'll have Abby, Ice, Cassie, and Blake. All of you roll D100.
Exactly 70. Oh, 98.
Ooh, almost perfect.
We'll resolve that 98 later.
Oh boy.
As for the
Uh,
others, let's see, 70, 71 are. I don't think those are anything terrible.
Oh look, it's a flying blue demon.
Nope. 70, 71. At night, the party sees hundreds of glowing luminescent jellyfish.
Ooh.
Neat.
18. Yeah, 18 is just smooth sailing.
Nice.
Thanks
Now-
for going.
While we wait on that 98 to be resolved, what's going on the ship?
Vapor is off moping somewhere in a corner.
Of course they are.
About the weapon this time.
Of course they are.
Tilia's gonna want to put those cards to good use. Keep up with the crew. Try to figure out what the hive mind's thinking these days.
Azar keeps himself, around and present. Like he doesn't sit in a dark corner or sit in his room or anything. He's always around.
You can
Doesn't shy
obtain
away from being
cards
around
with
people.
us.
He just doesn't speak up unless somebody talks to him first. Kind of just passively, comfortably hanging around. Usually thinking to himself or just relaxing. Until something happens.
I know over the time that we're spent sailing, Jorgen would definitely be, of course, chatting amongst all of the crew members, but for the most part, spending time with little Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy is like, yo, this guy, he has like a spear, but it's also an axe? That's cool as fuck. Like, he doesn't say fuck because he's 10. But you get the gist.
He's a 10-year-old that hangs out with sailors all day.
True, he
Yeah,
would say fuck. He
I
would.
think
He's like, this is cool as heckin' flip.
No, he says.
This is
We
cool
teach
as
him, we teach
fuck.
him wrong swear words, and he says those instead.
Oh, yeah.
This is
isn't just
cool as hell.
sailors. This isn't just any kind of sailors. We're a pirate ship on top of it. So like we're pirates. He says
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, Jimmy definitely curses.
Well, only like 80% of the crew is pirates. The other 20%.
That's enough.
We're in.
Pirates by association.
That's enough. That's enough.
This
Yeah, so-
fucking is cool as bullshit. Sure is, Jimmy.
So Jimmy really likes Mamato, and Mamato is like doing his best to indulge, but also not indulge Jimmy's curiosity. He's like, no, you can't hold the halberd, it's too big. Like, it looks... Jimmy is so small and scrawny, it looks like he's trying to lift a tree. Like,
A knife is like a short sword on him.
yeah, like, it's a very comical image. But we're going to turn away from the comical. Z.
Yes.
It is late at night aboard the Scorned Lady. You are in your quarters. Which, again, like, let's reiterate for everybody, there's no decoration.
In my cabin?
Yes.
Yeah, just a trunk.
Just the trunk, just your bed.
No, I have a bedroll in the trunk.
Bedroll
And
in the
pillow.
trunk. Okay. Fair enough. I'll roll with it.
There's a reason.
You're in your quarters doing whatever it is Z does with their alone time.
I'm writing in my journal.
Yes. Or are you just standing, like, writing and it's there? Like, you don't have a desk, you just, like,
Yeah,
standing up.
it's a really small notebook, probably like not even like 6 or 7 inches tall, 4-ish wide. So it's kind of handheld. I'm just kind of propped up against a wall, sitting
Okay.
down on the ground.
While you're doing so, you hear from your chest I don't know if you heard that or not.
A what? I didn't hear that.
You did not hear. Okay, it's like a bang. Like something hits the top of the chest from the inside.
Fuck. Okay. I go and open the 3 locks on the chest.
Sharp click, followed by sharp click, followed by sharp click.
I'm gonna wait a minute and stare at it, get my daggers out. Or just, I guess they're already out, but, like, take them off my belt. Just staring intently, listening for something else.
It is silent.
Alright. I slowly open the lid, then dart back across the room.
Sitting there on top of the pile of items, the bedroll, and I would assume like books, maybe other spare daggers.
Yeah, very neatly stacked. Everything is packed away in boxes. Yeah.
Resting on top of it all is an envelope.
Put one of the daggers back in my belt. Slowly walk across the room. Is there anything on the envelope that I can read?
Yes.
What does it say?
It says, to Zakiko from Hamar.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
It's got some traces on it. It definitely got here via magical means.
Okay. Does Detect Magic show you the kind of magic?
You have to make a spellcraft check.
Sure, let's do that. Probably not necessary, but, very cautious person. Oh, shit, I gotta spell better. Okay. Spellcraft starts with an S.
It do start with an S.
That it does. Sorry, everything's being slow. And I passed it, and I'm back.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Cool.
Okay, so you think back to your time in Fall Hill, and you remember that part of the way that members of your organization got messages to each other was a very specific device, magically made by the goblins in the neighboring countries. A lot of them had desks where if you pulled the drawer out and you stuffed an envelope inside, it went to whoever it was addressed to.
Okay.
And that's how it got here.
Knowing this, I put my dagger back in the belt. Like, oh, right. Silly me. And, open the letter.
Well, it's been a long time since you got one, so it's, like, I would say your reaction was understandable.
Okay, I open the letter.
You put your dagger under the wax seal, you pop it open. Zakiko, I bring dire news from Fall Hill. Our master, the Lord of Whispers, has been killed.
Eyes widen.
I don't know what this will make of your mission, but for your own safety, I would suggest that you do not return for the foreseeable future. I will contact you again when it is safe. And that's it.
Seeing it's probably not a good idea to start a fire on the ship, I eat it.
The truly unpredictable Z.
Honestly, though.
I return to my journal. But writing more thoughtfully now. Like, I'm really pondering what the fuck to do.
This is
Russ-
when our friendly neighborhood Moreland would show up.
I put on a face like nothing has changed. Moreland. Care for a drink? Maybe I could win that die back off of you. I pull out a deck of cards and open a bottle and close the door.
He shrugs. Sure, but I'll have to get back to my duties sometime soon. I came by to inform you.
Of what?
I'm not sure if you got the letter yet.
No, I imagine it would be in my things. Why? What does it say?
Our employer seems to be deceased.
She kind of like makes a face in disbelief. The Lord of Whispers himself?
That's what it said.
Ah, well, okay. For now, carry on as usual. Our mission is too important and could be false information.
He nods. He says, and one more thing. I've been gathering information with the crew at your direction. I happened to overhear Jorgen and the new one, Mamuto, talking.
And? Oh?
I don't think anything implicates him to the extent that Ula thinks yet, but he's definitely more than he seems.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if what I heard was accurate, he and that Mamoto fellow were personally there at the... How old are you?
25?
You'd be too young to remember. But I remember when I was a boy, about 10, the... Let's just say those were bad times, and Jorgen and Mamuto killed the previous emperor.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, indeed.
She kind of makes a thoughtful glance. Important knowledge, but I think it indirectly relates to our mission. If Jorgen is indeed the one we look for, I find this information makes it more challenging to and maybe in some ways less challenging to deal with that problem. But I don't think it's directly related. If that makes sense.
Aye, that makes sense.
Well, good work, Morland. Keep the die. And carry on for now. We may have to change course, though, so be ready.
He nods. Just watch your back around here. Something doesn't smell right.
You too. And I pull out of my pocket like a sweet or something that I bought in town earlier. I was like, appreciate you. And kind of just give him a little candy or whatever it is.
He just gives you like a weird look, giving him a candy, but he takes it.
Yep. She was gonna eat that, but appreciates the knowledge.
Yeah.
This is your bonus for the year.
For the year, yeah.
This just sweet candy. Yeah, he takes it and he leaves.
She looks back at her journal, jots down a few notes, and then opens the chest, delicately places it in its place, and gets out her whittling stuff and just looks like she's trying to wrap her head around everything.
She's got to distract herself a little bit.
A little bit. It helps a little.
Helps her.
I'd walk into her room a few minutes later.
Just barges right in.
Yeah.
Fuck. No. Look, I've had a hard day. Could you not?
Listen. About earlier, I wanted to apologize.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And I apologize for not knocking as well.
No, you literally never have.
I know you were just trying to. And I appreciate your effort to actually be a decent sibling.
Thank you.
What are you working on now?
I did not hear what you just said.
I said, what are you working on now?
You
Just
know you're speaking through my mic, right?
Well, I don't know what it's going to be just yet. Just getting the wood down to a smaller size.
Chill now.
Can you get out now?
Yeah.
As she goes, I toss a piece of candy at her.
She just kind of stares at you if you toss a piece of candy at her.
It doesn't catch it, just like hits her in the face.
It just
have
kind of
great
hits her
aim.
and she lets it fall.
It hits you. Can I roll an attack roll to see if I can hit her right between the eyes?
Yeah.
Just with a dagger, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be a piece of candy, so we won't do any damage. But yeah, you can use that.
Yeah. I just want to see if I can hit her that accurately. Okay, hold on. Weapons.
Weaponize the candy. Sharpen the candy cane.
I'm just gonna do a dagger attack. That does not hit. It's a natural 6 or natural 1. Fuck.
Roll a d100.
A D100.
I don't think 90 is bad.
Darn it.
I have 100 of these lining the inside of my cloak.
Yeah, in each dagger pocket is now like has a little piece of candy with it.
And not even Z knows where all the candy came from.
Anyways, bye Dubby.
Yeah, bye, W, guys. Something flew into your eye. You are considered blind.
Shit is
Yeah, so you go to throw it and like hit and you do that thing where you like fumble it off your palm and it hits you in your own eye.
reach for it on the ground and just plop it in my mouth.
It still has the wrapper on it. We riff off each other so well.
I spit it back out. And I imagine after that we just break out into laughter.
We do, yeah.
And then as the chuckling like goes down, I go, no, but seriously, get out.
She'll laugh again and just check one say, yeah. I think I'm just gonna go sleep in a shadow tonight. So, good night.
Night, sis.
I might come back in here tomorrow night, so if that's okay.
Well, it depends if you knock. And I smirk.
You know I never do.
Good night,
Good
sister.
night. And she'll walk out.
I just get out my bedroll and go to sleep. Or at least try to.
Dragona.
Yes.
You're out and about on the ship. A lot of the crew they haven't quite settled in for the night, but things are definitely winding down when you enter the ship's galley, the place where everybody eats. And a whole bunch of the crew are sat at one table, all talking and conversing, when one of them, let me get the crew list up. Yeah, you recognize this one. His name is Kilvin. He's got a huge black beard, dark skin. He used to be a blacksmith. He's told everybody as much. He goes, "Hey, Dragona, come take a seat."
She will gladly walk on over and take a seat next to him.
Yeah.
And she'll put an arm around his back and be like, "How are you doing, my friend?"
Oh, I'm doing just fine. sitting here, there's of course Kilvin, there's Avery, William, the ship's cook, Yoichiro, elf, Brunhilde, a dwarf, Andin, and Dane, who steered the ship earlier. We're just, we're a long way from home, so we've just been talking about what we miss.
She will nod and say, we're a long way from home. I miss my family. What do you all miss?
Kilvin says, if there's one thing I miss, it's the forge. Something about it's just that easy rhythm. Brunhilde says, I grew up on the sea. It's the only thing I know. Everybody goes around kind of sharing a little bit about themselves. Dane, he's old. He's always been kind of grumpy. He just, he smiles and he just says, I miss being young. Yuichiro says, I wish I had a good book.
Dragona would definitely, give Dane a good, hefty schmack on the back. Go, you barely look a day over 20.
Oh, a liar now, are you?
She'll put her hands up and say, I ain't lying. Everything but the truth. Everything is the truth.
Oh. Well, since we're in the mood for the truth, why don't you tell us about yourself? We've been on the seas almost 6 months, and we barely know you.
Yeah, she's definitely not the type that would bring up her family often because it would make her emotional, and she doesn't want them to see that. But this time she would mention her father. Whose name I've chosen to be Skull. She'll explain how they were super close and how he taught her everything she knew about wielding her weapons. But she won't go too deep into it because she doesn't want to reveal the whole truth to these ship members. So she'll just tell them very basic info. I had 2 good friends once, and we lived in the desert. Just not revealing a whole lot to them.
Anjin speaks up at this, and he says, yeah, and I had 2 wives once. And that gets a round of laughter from everybody at the table. They're making fun of you.
I know. She would just. Oh,
If you don't want to share, that's
just-
fine. It's
she would just very sternly stare at him and just go, "It makes me emotional."
he just nods and like kind of tips his cup at you. He says, "It's fine. It's all in good fun. Don't share
She'll
what you don't
definitely-
want."
She'll take a swig of her drink and continue on about her tribe and how they traded with others. And how when she was young, the biggest body of water she had ever seen was a small river until the ocean, when she discovered the ocean. And that's why she's doing this job now.
That gets most of us. Something about being out here on this blue crystal waters.
She'll nod and say, "It's sickening." But are you satisfied with that answer?
As much as I can be. Kazar,
Yes.
what are you doing about now?
What time of day is it?
About 9 o'clock
PM or AM?
p.m.
PM? He's most likely either down in the crew lounge area or up on the deck. I'll just flip a coin. Dewey's on the deck. That not roll. Oh, there it goes. They're on the deck.
Perfect.
We're kind of towards the bow of the ship, kind of looking out over the horizon of the water and up at the night sky, while the ship sails along.
Yeah. The newest of the newcomers, Jeremiah, he saunters his way over and like leans against the railing right next to you. He says, "Beautiful sight, isn't it?"
Aye, it always is.
That's right. Always is. How long have you been a man of the cloth?
Oh. Must be 40, 50 years now?
Good long career.
Aye, it has been.
You don't see too many of you around here. In particular, one of your position.
He nods. I can see how that would be true.
He takes a sip from his big jug of wine, not wine, rum. So I take it then that you've got invested interest in somebody on board.
He kind of raises an eye. Says you're quite well informed. I believe you mentioned you were a father once yourself.
And that I was, back on the mainland. But the sea has her ways. Now I'm what the locals around here would call a sea priest.
Really?
Indeed.
He thinks about that. Says, "How long have you been a sea priest?"
He looks thoughtful for a long moment. Probably the last 25 years.
To answer your earlier curiosity, I'm not quite certain who it is yet.
He nods, and then he kind of matches how you do that raised eyebrow. He says, well, have you considered that it might be all of them?
I actually hadn't. I suppose there's no reason it couldn't be all of them. Looks he's looking thoughtful about that.
As one believer to another. We live in some strange times. And there's a lot more gathering than the storm. Well, I'll leave you to your thoughts.
Yeah, he definitely he definitely has the expression that he took that thought to heart. And then as they go to turn away, he speaks up again and says, I'd actually been meaning to talk to a sea priest about something.
Oh? I am all ears.
How knowledgeable are you about the kind of artifacts that could be found in this area and what they can do? The effects they might have on someone.
I'd say fairly, but I think the term is full disclosure. It usually takes a team of us to verify anything in general. That's just how it's done. But I'll take a look.
Kazar nods at that, and then says, and then goes to lead them to look for Jorgen. Or actually, no, Jorgen's not holding it. The captain goes to look for the captain.
Where can they find Tilia?
Tilia is probably with the off-duty crew, avoiding her more serious tasks for the time being.
Yeah, so you've joined, like, downstairs with Dragona and the others, all enjoying a drink. And that is when Kazar and Jeremiah come down.
Captain.
I suppose that's me. What can I do for you?
It turns out that Jeremiah is a sea priest. I was wondering if he may be able to tell us something about the necklace we found.
Well, that sure seems awfully convenient. And yeah, without hesitation, Tilia's gonna pull it out of her bag. Presumably, she never noticed it teleport away or behave mysteriously or whisper ominously or anything.
You didn't notice, but no, it's not there.
Oh. Where's Jorgen?
Where is Jorgen?
That's a good question.
Oh no.
I feel like Jorgen would just be. We said it's like 9 o'clock at this point, right?
Yep.
Jorgen is getting pretty old, and so he's likely getting ready for bed already.
Yeah, so while you're getting ready for bed, they notice that the amulet is missing, and I imagine Jorgen, like, has a habit of, maybe he keeps his own journal, and you open up a little, like, nightstand drawer, and right there is the amulet.
Jorgen would immediately back up and be. He would just yell pretty loud, Captain?
And you hear through the walls, Captain?
Tilly is immediately leaping over everyone's heads out the door to get to him as fast as possible.
Kazar will go after them as well.
Yeah, you would come into the room and just see Jorgen staring down. He would just say, it's here again. It's not on me, but it's here again.
I've got my hands out to you, like palms outwards, placatingly. Okay, that's good. Do you feel any sense of impending doom or sudden rage or anything?
I suppose that's a DM question. I think the answer is no. But okay. Yeah, Jorgen would just tell you, no, but I'm certainly not comfortable with the fact that it's right here again. Didn't you have it, like, in your pocket?
Up till moments ago, I thought. When was the last time you were in this drawer? Tilly's gonna creep closer to the amulet.
I don't know. This morning when I was getting dressed? I was just getting ready to go to bed and it's here.
Well, you did right in calling out as fast as possible. But take this. You just get your beauty sleep, alright? Well, I'll be with you in the morning.
Hopefully, it will be with you in the morning.
We can only hope. I'll get some rest. Tilia will bring the amulet back over at arm's length. I hate this thing.
as soon as it gets close, like Jeremiah like kind of grabs onto it and like turns it over in his hand. Interesting.
Just to give them more context and information on it, Kazar tells them about what's where, like how how they found it and what has happened to Jorgen after finding it. Just giving them the information that they have so far. As little information as it is.
May I have a moment alone with this Jorgen?
Kazar looks to the captain.
Well, he's in his quarters turning down for the night, but I'll make sure he's decent. Come with me.
You mean you basically handed it to him right in his doorway. So
Yeah. Because we followed you to the room, so we're just standing right at the doorway.
Yeah, a swift knock on Jurgen's door.
I suppose Jorgen would just open right up. He's not down yet. If anything, he's a little more awake because he was freaked out by the fact the amulet was there.
Well, we might have some answers for you. Get comfortable.
Hold on, what was that?
We might have some answers for this amulet situation. Make yourself comfortable.
From who?
hello.
Mr. Z Priest here.
I wasn't aware we had one of those.
Yeah, well, fate works in mysterious ways, my boy.
I'm being told that quite a lot recently.
It explains how the gin was so good. With the rum.
Anyways, out with the rest of you. Shoo.
Kazar leaves the room.
He produces a broom out of nowhere and like shoos at Tilia. Like,
Yeah, I'll give one last look at Jorgen. Just holler if you need anything. And I'll allow myself to be shooed out the door.
Under his breath, he just mutters, "Aye, aye, Captain."
I am going to press my ear on the door once it's closed and try to listen in. Completely unashamedly.
Kazar stays like near, but he's like leaned. He leans his back against like the opposite side of the hall, away from the door. Though he's not trying to do what Tilly is doing, but he also is staying close by, so that within earshot of, if anyone does yell out, they're right there, if they need them, kind of thing. They're not actually eavesdropping like Tilly is.
I'm sure he would tell me anyway. He wouldn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah is holding the amulet. He gives it another look over. He says, "Your friend Kazar told me how you found it. Why don't you go ahead and give me your version of events?"
Allow me to do that in just a second. My family's leaving.
Anybody go see Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Nope.
I want to see the Oppenheimer movie.
I want to do Barbenheimer.
They both look pretty good, actually, so.
Yeah, you gotta do it all in one day.
Which do you watch first?
I think you have to watch Oppenheimer first. So you can contemplate death and then go see Barbie.
You're right, you do have to watch the Barbie movie second because Ryan Gosling's so handsome. It'll like cure your soul.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
We were getting right at the end. They were like, okay, we're headed out. It's like, okay.
Yep. That's all right. It's okay.
Okay.
All right. So he grabs the amulet. He like looks at it. He shows it to you, and he says, you know, Kazar has told me his side of the story. Why don't you tell me yours?
Well, on multiple occasions at this point, well, do you want the whole story?
How you found this first?
Well, we found it on an old empty island down inside a well. We were sent there and searched for some treasure. We got some gold, and we ended up finding that. And of course, we gave it to our captain, and it allowed her to read some things that we couldn't read before. But for some reason, every time it's suddenly out of sight, it ends up on my person somehow.
Rewind. What did it allow them to read?
Oh, well, there was a chest that only had, I mean, what we saw, there was only a few words on it. But afterwards, she was able to see the whole thing.
Which was?
Well, what we saw was, in darkness and in chaos, may you find what you seek. And when our captain put it on, it talked more about a deep chasm and a beast that guards a reef, and we're supposed to find a crown that bears light. And to my knowledge, that's it. We were just left with a riddle.
It's not a riddle.
It's more like a map.
Nor is it that.
Well, then what is it, Mr. Priest?
I'm getting to that. Impatient.
My apologies.
We see priests have a prophecy. What you found inside of a well happens to contain part of the prophecy. And he's going to start from the top. It says, a great tempest shall brew, gathering strength and fury. The winds will howl a deafening roar. The waves will rise taller than mountains. The herald shall call them to heel, and they will obey. Announce thyself, herald of storms. Men will proclaim to you their loyalty. Others will raise their swords. In darkness and in chaos, may you find what you seek. Deep in the chasms, where the water reeks, slay the beast guarding its reef. Find the crown bearing the light. You shall become marked. Twice by lightning to name you true. Twice by teeth to set your path. Thrice by men to seal your fate.
I was told that bit in a dream the same night.
Who by?
I am trying to remember. It was some man. From what he was telling me, it appeared that he was very important, very important at some point in time. But he was sharing with me that in the grand scheme of everything, he doesn't really matter anymore. I believe his name was Neron?
Jeremiah is looking at you with a very, just very intently. So, interesting. Do not tell anyone else about this.
Why?
You have stumbled into, whether or not you are one remains to be seen. But it is believed that the Herald of Storms will be reborn and unite the Isles. There are obviously people in power who would not want such a thing to pass.
And is it under your belief that this Naren fellow has chosen me?
He cannot choose.
Let me
This,
guess. It's all fate.
in a way, look, once more signs manifest, more of the Sea Priests will seek you out to confirm it. And if you are indeed the next Herald, a lot is going to change for you.
And that means what exactly?
Figure it out. Now, some of it is in the first couple of lines of that prophecy I recited for you. The ability to control storms, make tidal waves, gain the loyalty of sailors.
I see. And what if it's not me? If I am not this thing, what else could it be?
And if it's not you, then at some point, you'll be dead.
Fair enough.
And I would hold on to this. He tosses the amulet at you.
The last time that I wore this thing, I ended up trying to attack my own people. Is there a way that I can stop that?
He smiles in a sort of like wistful, placating way. He says, "Son, no, you didn't. What you've got rattling around in your head there was the previous Herald of Storms. Everybody who gets involved in the prophecy hears them.
Well, from the sounds of it, the previous Herald was mad.
That he was. Next time you dream, you can ask him about it.
Well, that's just where I was about to head.
And remember, tell no one. If I were you, I would hesitate to even tell your captain.
I may have a hard time with that, but I will
Heads like yours,
do my best.
heads like yours are worth their weight in gold.
The door hinge fails and Tilia falls in face first.
He's like, "Ah, Captain, it's you." Yeah, Jorgen would just say, then, I will do my best to keep my head intact.
Alright. Well, that's all I got.
Is there a next step of where I need to go? Or will it just happen?
I have a feeling you're already headed there.
Yeah, that's what it appears. And that's how it appears.
Anyway, it is late and I'm older than you are. So good night.
Good night, sir.
He like pounds his hand on the door and he says, I can hear your breathing.
No? What do you... No?
What do you mean, no?
Some hasty footsteps, quickly retreating.
That's what I thought. And he excuses himself and he just leaves. And that's where we're going to end session, guys.
All right.
Okay.
The prophecy.
More dream adventures. Let's go.
Good night, everybody.
Cool.
Good night,
Very
everybody.
fun.